Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Had to make sure I got the cadence right on that intro. I usually check the audio before I say something. Ooh, my audio seems to be peaking on my microphone. Do I sound good to you guys? Am I too high? It looks like my audio is like way in the red for my microphone. How do I sound to you guys? Shady, you need to settle the debate. I will settle the debate, but first we got to make sure that the audio is good. How else can we like talk about the pizza and cookies if you guys can't clearly hear me? You're good. You're good. Sounds good to me. Sounds good. You're fine, my dude. Okay. Everybody's wondering what kind of pizza and what kind of cookies I'm gonna be. Well, as far as the cookies go, that's settled. It's going to be Betty Crocker chocolate chip cookies. My sister had baked some cookies a couple weeks ago for the 4th of July, and ever since I've been kind of sort of craving. I'm always craving chocolate chip cookies, like always. I'm always craving them. Freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. But I usually get the same kind when I get chocolate chip cookies, but because those were different, like I kind of been craving those specific kind. So I finally gave in to my craving, and I was like, yeah, but you got to stream first if you want to deserve it. Pizza, it's definitely going to be pepperoni, but I'm debating whether or not I'm going to add bacon to that as well. Pepperoni pizza is pretty much my go-to when it comes to pizza. I'm fine with cheese, but I prefer pepperoni. I'm debating about the bacon because last time I had both bacon and pepperoni, my stomach was very upset at me, and I feel like that could happen again. But I really want some pepperoni bacon pizza. I don't know if I think pepperoni is my favorite. I'm not 100% sure because I recall one time eating a cheeseburger pizza that I loved more than any other pizza, but I haven't had that specific pizza in literal years, like I think since I was a teenager. So my brain is telling me that's the best pizza I've ever eaten, but I haven't had it in so long. So I always pretty much get pepperoni, and then lately I've been getting a lot of bacon. Are you ordering it or is it frozen? I'm going to order it. I'm a pretty big, I haven't had frozen pizza in a while. Well, honestly, I hadn't been eating pizza in a while because of the diet I'm on, because I was trying to lose weight. But then, like a couple months ago, I started getting more relaxed on the diet. So I still lose weight, but I lose it at a much slower pace. But that's probably going to end soon because my body seems to be slowing down a lot on the losing weight front. So I got to get back to doing that. Hello, everybody. We probably got some new people here. The subscriber count does keep going up. That core video did much better than I thought it was going to do. So we probably got some new people here. So let me just explain what's going on here. This is a stream I do every once in a while, usually when I'm running low on videos. I do every once in a while just because I know people like to talk to the creators of videos. So I every once in a while I just do a stream to let you guys ask me questions and talk to me. I do read I do read chat openly. So if you got questions, ask them. Of course, with the nature of chat, I don't always get to every question. So if you want me to prioritize your questions, or if you just feel like supporting the channel, you can send a super chat. They are open, or you can become a member. We have members now, people. Relatively new thing. But yeah, members do get priorities when answering questions and responding to comments and whatnot. And I'm going to get you guys some entertainment to watch, which is, surprise, surprise, Power Wash Simulator. I pretty much always do Power Wash Simulator because the point of the stream is for me to interact with you guys. And Power Wash Simulator is something that I can play without having to pay too much attention to because I tend to have tunnel vision. If I've got something in front of me, I tend to focus on that thing rather than multitask. So with Power Wash Simulator, I can focus on chat and not worry too much about the game. So I saw this Tomb Raider thing here. And I'm going to do... I can't do free play because I haven't beaten the Tomb Raider thing yet. I want to do something free play because I don't want the messages popping up. So if you don't water a watermelon, is it still a watermelon? Well, if you don't water it, it's probably dead. Watermelon was a desert plant originally, wasn't? Oh, well, shows how much I know. Shady, I love your work, dude. Really helps break down story elements as a new writer. Thank you. I appreciate that. So a lot of people say that like, oh, Shady, you should go into, ow. I just hurt my finger opening a water bottle. There's a sharp edge sticking out. A lot of people say, Shady, you should go into writing. And I'm like, I might be a good writer, but it's hard to gauge that just by a review, because a good reviewer isn't necessarily a good writer. And a good writer isn't necessarily a good reviewer. Did you hear about the Trump thing? Yes, I do, but I don't really want to comment too much on politics. The only reason I bring out that I'm right-wing on my channel all the time is because I know for some people that's a big enough deal to leave the channel, and I don't want to deceive anybody. What's something we can do? I might just do that Lara Croft mansion anyway. I just want to do something free play, so and also not something too difficult. How is that notification for you guys? Is it too loud for you, or is it good enough? I hope that's not too loud. It felt a little loud to me. Thank you, Beowulf, for the $5 donation. Love you, Shady. Any chance you showing on the art cast? You even have a PG ready for it. I'm not even sure what that is. I hope they haven't contacted me and asked me to be a part, because I'm not sure what that is. When it comes to collaborations, I remember I said at the beginning of the year, or even the end of last year, that I was trying to slow down on collaborations because I have something I'm trying to do with my channel, and collaborations were getting in the way of that. I feel now I'm a bit more comfortable with collaborations, but I can't say for sure that that's a for sure thing, because I am still trying to push my channel in a certain direction, and collaborations do kind of they do kind of get in the way of that, because when you collaborate, it shouldn't just be, I've always said this about collaborations. When you collaborate with another YouTuber, it shouldn't just be you and them. It should be you collaborating with them. It's kind of like a superhero team up. People don't just want to see Captain America doing something and in another scene Iron Man doing something. They want to see the two interact with each other and talk off of each other. That's why when I do collabs with people, I try to write scripts in that vein, that we're bouncing off of each other. How did you design your channel character? Hold on, let me before I start, I will answer that question, but let me pick something to watch. You know what? Even though it's a career thing, I'm gonna do the Tomb Raider mansion just because it'll get things going. So we'll just start, and hopefully the message won't distract us too much. Let me know if the audio is too loud, because I'm always like adjusting the audio on my OBS. And ooh, this is big. What did they give me? Did they give me? Okay, I'm only getting the Vista Pro. It's loud on my end. Let me turn it down on my end, which will actually turn it down on your guys' end as well. But I can individually adjust on your guys' end. Okay, so somebody said, how did you design your character? So my character, before I became Shady Doorags, I was an internet personality known as Random Person. And my big shtick as Random Person, that YouTube channel is still up. Geez, it's still very loud on my end. I'm going to turn it down some more, because I can barely hear myself talk. This will turn it down for you guys as well. If you guys want me to turn it up, just turn it back up. Let me know. But when I went by the name Random Person, one of my big shtick was that I didn't think you should tell other people on the internet any information about yourself. And when I eventually went to YouTube, you could probably still look up my YouTube channel. I think it's still out there, the old Random Person YouTube channel. Yeah, it is, because it's it's on my, I see it all the time on my YouTube feed. But one of my big things was that you shouldn't tell people who you are. So I completely disguised myself, and the disguise I had was like a jacket, sunglasses, a mask, a do-rag. I wore the sunglasses and the do-rag so I would still look like a face. And then when I made my avatar, I made it based off of that. And as the avatar evolved, I moved towards looking like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a huge influence of my current avatar's design. which is why he mostly emotes with his eyes. He does do a lot of talking with his hands. And yes, people who saw the Terra video, thank you for correcting me that talking with your hands is an actual thing, and my avatar does it all the time. He does talk with his hands, but like that's why his eyes are like one of the primary. That's why they're both simple and one of the primary motivators behind like his emotions. Yes, love it when you get recommended your own videos. Well, I get recommended Shady Doorags videos because I watch my videos all the time. But my old random person channel, I don't really get recommended. It's just it's there in my subscription feed because I'm subscribed to it, so I can go back and check it out. Everything. How was your 4th of July? My 4th of July was very good. I spent it hanging out with my sister and her family, and my niece is getting into video games. So you know, as somebody who was very heavily into video games, that's a fun thing to see. Hey Shady, what do you think of Review to Death? Do you ever plan to collab with him sometime? If not, would you like to? I don't ever plan to collab with anybody because right now my mind is not in a collab state. So maybe in the future I would plan to collab with people, but right now it's just like I never plan on it. Review to Death, I've heard that name, but I can't remember. Like I know I've seen stuff by Review to Death, or at least I've seen thumbnails by Review to Death, but I couldn't tell you if I've actually watched any of their videos. And another thing with me and collaborations, which I learned, I think it was last year when I did 2 collabs, which is I don't work well with others. At least I feel like I don't work well with others because in my mind I have to be in control of the project. And I tell myself objectively, like, this isn't just your project, it's their project as well. They need to have some say in it. But a lot of times when I'm not seeing eye to eye with them, I get really frustrated. Hey, Shady, are you Christian? Technically, yes. I think it might be more accurate to describe me as agnostic, but I grew up Christian, and I still hold a lot of my Christian beliefs. So, yeah. Like, I think the official answer to that is yes. I say it all the time in my videos that I am Christian. Shady, you should review Halloween. Well, I probably won't review Halloween because this is on my Discord. One of the things I stay away from is reviewing things that talk about religion and organized religion. Because it's just a subject I'm not comfortable talking with. And Halloween is heavily about religion and people's stances on it. Like, I'll mention religion in my videos, obviously. You know, I've talked about my own religion. But things that are, like, critical or accepting of religion, like, I tend to stay away from them. It's not impossible. I have talked about things on the channel that delve into that stuff. But it tends to be something I stay away from. Hey Shady, are we getting any more Ben 10 content? I'm getting through it. It's just I have no excuse for the Ben 10 stuff. It's just I need to sit down and watch it, and I don't always sit down and watch it. Like when I sit down and if some of you are, this is stuff I say all the time on almost like every stream. But every stream we have new viewers, so I have to repeat myself. My primary source of entertainment actually isn't cartoons. It's YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. So when I want to sit down and relax, I don't sit down and watch cartoons. I sit down and I watch YouTube. I do like watching cartoons. It's just not my instinct to sit down and do that. So when I say, oh, I got to sit down and watch Ben 10 or Batman or whatnot, like I have to, a lot of times when I'm sitting down to relax, I'll be like, hey, I have to tell myself, this is a good time to watch something from that show. My brain like instinctively opens up YouTube to do it instead of opens up like Netflix or something. Did you just put your avatar in the lower part of the comment section? Did I just put it there? I didn't just put it there. It's been there since the last, I won't say the last stream, which was a month or two ago. What do you think of season 4 of The Boys? I couldn't even start The Boys. The first episode made me so uncomfortable, like I couldn't get through it. Have you ever heard of a show called Detention Air? It's good, and you can find it on YouTube for free. Is that I don't think this is it, but it might be that Disney Channel show about the kids who always get detention. That sounds similar. If that's not it, then no, I haven't heard of it. What is your favorite MCU movie in the recent decade? Well, I stopped watching MCU after Endgame. I watched the Spider-Man movies, and I was disappointed in all of them. And then I watched She-Hulk, but I watched She-Hulk knowing it was bad because I had already seen a bunch of reviews on it. But I watched it with the intent of making a video, which I did. I've never watched The Boys. What made you uncomfortable? In the very first episode, I just want to call her Mary Marvel because she looks exactly like Mary Marvel. There's a female superhero who gets... this is spoilers for the first episode of The Boys, by the way. There's a female superhero who gets asked to join what in this universe is like the Justice League. But after she gets joined, she gets asked to do favors, and she gives in and does those favors, and that made me super uncomfortable. And then immediately before that, there was also some promiscuous scenes, and I was just like, maybe I'll eventually grow a big enough stomach to watch it, because I did get through Game of Thrones. But man, that first episode, I was just like, no. Shady, do you read comics? If so, do you have any recommendations? I don't read comics anymore. I read a lot of comics when I was a teenager, and I always say this so people don't get the wrong idea. I have more comic book knowledge than the average person, but less than the average comic book reader. Like, if you read comics, you probably know more about comics than me. My favorite comics, since you asked for recommendations, my favorite comics are Kingdom Come, World War Hulk. Not World War Hulk. I always say World War Hulk. No, it's Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk is my... I absolutely love Planet Hulk. World War Hulk was fun, but it didn't do it for me as much as Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk hit the spot so hard. And Spider-Man at World's End. I love Spider-Man at World's End. I'd like you to cover some Courage Cowardly Dog episodes like The Mask. The Mask is doable. Comedic shows are a lot more difficult for me to do because it's difficult for me to get through a show without saying that. I have to find a bunch of different ways of saying that's funny, that's funny, that's funny. You'll probably notice in by Daria videos, I'll find different ways of brushing past that an episode is funny. I used to do it all the time for King of the Hill, and then I just stopped. You know, the go-to strat is just to laugh at something that made me laugh while watching the episode. But if something is just pure comedic and it doesn't have too much more I can commentate on, it's difficult to do. But Courage has a lot of episodes with a lot of commentary, so I probably could do that. And I also, because of the Korra video, I'm actually reconsidering how to approach videos, because I did not think that Korra video was going to do well. I always know there's a possibility that any video on my channel could do well. But I specifically thought nobody is asking for this video, and it's done in a very different style. There's very little jokes, and I'm only talking about one scene, and I'm using very little clips. I didn't think people were going to like it that much. But it's doing really well. It's still doing well. 200K in 2 weeks is very well for my channel. That's usually Justice League King of the Hill numbers. Even King of the Hill has been struggling to get those numbers recently. So maybe a different approach is actually a good idea. I'll experiment with that. There's another topic similar to Korra that I've been thinking about talking about, which is the Holdo maneuver from Star Wars, because there's a lot of, there's still, even years after it's happened, been conversation around the Holdo maneuver. From the second Star Wars sequel movie, and I have opinions on it, and if people are interested enough to hear them, then sure. But that Korra video, what video we talking about? The latest video on the channel, the one about the opening scene from The Legend of Korra. The Legend of Korra and Avatar: The Last Airbender seem to be topics that just don't die. People just keep bringing them up. And I was really just tired of having to explain to people like my stance on like why the opening scene, why Korra's introduction in that show is bad. So that's why I made that video, just so I wouldn't have to keep repeating myself. It's the same thing that happened with my first Diane Nguyen video. I was just really sick and tired of repeating myself over and over. Do you think you could do more Fillmore? Yes, that's another one I'm working my way through. I definitely plan on doing a video on the test episode. Everybody has requested that I do a video on the test episode from Fillmore, and I saw that episode and I immediately understood why. I immediately was like, okay, this episode would make a good review. So you could probably expect to see more. It's just I have to see where I can get official footage. People said that if you use a VPN for Disney Plus, you can find Fillmore. I know all the episodes of Fillmore are on YouTube, but their quality isn't the best, so I would like to get better quality if I can. Three years later, your John Redcore video is still the #1 most popular on your channel. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad video, but I think I've made much better since that video. I've been eagerly awaiting the Flash video to overtake that video, because I think the Flash video is a much better Shady Doorags video than the John Redcorn one. But the John Redcorn one opens with such a strong joke that people like get hooked on the channel as a whole after watching that. Whereas the Flash video, you kind of got to sit through the whole thing before you start to understand where I'm coming from. Do you plan to review any of the episodes from Hulu's Futurama season? I mean, I could be persuaded to, but I don't have any immediate plans to. The Hulu, I know they're coming out with a new season, or maybe they already came out. I haven't been paying attention. But the first Hulu season didn't have really strong episodes. Like, I already reviewed the Christmas episode from the Hulu season. And that was more of the ones I liked, but even then I said objectively, like, it wasn't that good of an episode. It had a lot of severe problems. It's just subjectively, I really like Christmas, and it had a lot of Christmas spirit in it. There were a lot of moments where it just felt like a really Christmassy episode. So that's why I liked it, and I felt the need to review it, because I just like talking about Christmas stuff. I still go back to the John Redcorn videos sometimes. There are just ways that I've improved since the John Redcorn video, like my audio and the avatar and all sorts of stuff that I look at the John Redcorn video. I'm like, it's not the best of the channel, so it is a little bit annoying that a lot of people see that as like the top tier Shady Doorags video. Honestly, I think the greatest video I've ever made was probably the recent Justice League video with the Patriot Act. Genuinely, like, after I was done, I was so proud of that video, and then as time has gone on, like, I've kept loving every aspect of that video. So I left a comment on your Blue Spirit video about Zuko could have kept the mask without choosing to use it anymore. What do you think? Well, the mask was... Zuko getting rid of the Blue Spirit mask was symbolic of him... was symbolic of him letting go of something. I can't remember the episode where he gets rid of the mask. I think it was after Iroh found out. And it was symbolic of him letting go of, like, being mischievous and whatnot, because he was on a very mischievous path at the time. My Adventures with Superman review, people keep asking. I need to sit... that's one of, like, I just... because I kind of don't want to watch that. Oh, I didn't even see this fountain. I kind of don't want to watch that because for the same reason, like, I didn't want to watch... the same reason I didn't want to watch... Invincible, because it's so mainstream, and I have a huge hipster part of me. I don't even know if that's still a word people use in pop culture, hipster. Clone O'Clocks 9999, thank you very much for the $4.99 donation. Pizza and cookies, yep. After this stream, that is what I shall be eating. And I'm really much looking forward to it, because I'm coming off of a diet fast, which apparently, this is secondhand info, so, like, Don't take my work. Take this with a grain of salt. But apparently, fasting every 3 to 4 days is actually really good for you. Like it's actually really good for both losing weight and making a healthy body. So this is one of my bi-weekly or twice a weekly. Is that bi-weekly? I think that's bi-weekly fast that I do. But it ends at dinner time, so. I became a subscriber after I saw the Justice League video about Superman. It was amazing. Do you have a group where you show people how to do what you do? I have a Discord channel that you can ask questions. I don't really show how I do what I do. I would love to one day stream me editing just because I like the attention and I want to show people the work I'm putting into the videos. The problem is if I'm it's the tunnel vision thing. I can't focus on editing and on streaming. So I wouldn't be able to properly, I feel like I would, I shouldn't say I wouldn't be able to, but I would struggle with answering questions. And also I don't know if my computer can handle it because I use DaVinci Resolve, and a lot of times DaVinci Resolve gives me issues while I'm editing. It's a really good editing software. I highly recommend it, but it gives me issues while I'm editing. And sometimes it's a memory thing. And so if I'm streaming at the same time while I'm editing, I imagine the streaming will eat up even more memory. So it's never been something I've been brave enough to do, especially since I stream specifically so people can talk to me and ask me questions and whatnot. But I do love showing people like my editing process. A family member of mine started getting into YouTubing stuff, and they wanted me to teach them how to use DaVinci Resolve. And I was like, yes, eagerly, I will gladly show you. Have you seen Ben 10 Alien Force or do an episode on Alone Together? I have seen Ben 10 Alien Force. Unfortunately, I would have to buy the DVD of Ben 10 Alien Force, or because the places that stream it, I don't have. Max just got rid of most of their Ben 10 stuff. And the places that stream Alien Force, I don't have, so I would have to go out and get the DVD for Alien Force. And Alien Force is there are a lot of DVDs for it. Will you review Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow, King of the Hill episode? I want to, but I feel like I've somewhat overhyped that episode. I rewatched it recently, and I'm like, I don't know if I can give a big enough, like, I'll have enough to say about that, because I remember vehemently hating that episode. Nancy and John Redcorn irked me so much in that episode. After rewatching it, they still irk me, but like the anger that I felt before isn't there. So I feel like I've somewhat overhyped it. Will you collab with Kitty Monk again? Well, like I said, I'm not really doing collabs right now. Like I'm kind of iffy on it because I want my channel to go in a certain direction. Will you ever make a Hulk review episodes of Earth's Mightiest Heroes? Earth's Mightiest Heroes didn't do well. So my brain is less... my brain is not wanting to review it as much. But I don't like stopping a series just because of one video. Like I like to see like after 3 episodes to see if there's a pattern. So I could be tempted to. You need bacon to go with that donut and pizza. Bacon? I mean, donut. I don't know where the donut came from. I plan on eating cookies. I probably will put bacon on the pizza. Hey, Shady, what do you think of MCU? I mean, I pretty much agree with all the people you would expect me to agree with when it comes to the MCU after Infinity War. Like, because Endgame wasn't that good. But the only real thing of the MCU I've seen are the Spider-Man movies and She-Hulk. So everything else, even Captain Marvel, I'm going off of like secondhand info. You've vastly improved on your video making skills since the John Redcorn video. Thank you. I think so too. Which is what I try to do. I've been watching, I can't remember his name. My lips are getting dry. I can't remember his name, but I've been watching this YouTuber who specializes in documenting how certain YouTubers have fallen from grace. And one thing he says a lot, or he says more than he says it enough that I've noticed it, is how people get burnt out on YouTube. Like they have a hard time keeping their creativity up, and they have a hard time innovating themselves. And that's one of the big fears I have with my channel, that my content is gonna stagnate to the point that people just get bored of me. So I'm always worried, like, oh, should I change this up? Should I do this? And so far right now, it's not a worry worth focusing on, because the channel every once in a while, no, it's not the right opinion. But yeah, right now the channel, like, it's still growing pretty strong. Like I get a significant boost in subscribers every like 6 to 10 months, and even when I'm not doing that, my subscribers is steadily increasing. So, and I've seen a lot of YouTubers get stuck in the 200K. Like, I used to think like the getting above 100K was the safe zone, and then I thought getting above 200K was the safe zone, and then I'm realizing like there is no safe zone. At any point, your channel could just stagnate. But it's like, if it's going to stagnate, you want it to stagnate at a high enough place where the views can still keep you alive. Because once you become your own boss, like, you really do not want to go back to the 9 to 5. I need more Daria content in my life. There will be more Daria content. Daria is not the headliner of the channel, but it gets enough views that I can reliably want to make videos. I want to make videos anyway, because Daria is a fun show worth talking about. And I do appreciate that people love the more character focus ranting I do in those videos. Get a poll on this. All right, everybody's asking. Let me look it up right quick. Who is this YouTuber? I don't mind promoting people. June the King, that's his name. I've recently been watching a lot of his stuff. I feel like as long as you have something valid to say about your favorite shows, your videos will always be worth watching. Well, here's the thing about YouTube. Just say the thing. Just because you're entertaining doesn't mean you will keep be entertaining, because you have to try to adapt. Nanocon, thank you very much for the $5. Here's some advice to avoid that. Write down all your ideas, even the dumb ones, as even a stupid idea can be refined or inspired a better one. Well, I have a never-ending supply of ideas. They just never stop. It's not so much the idea for a video, it's the execution. The execution is the important thing, because when it comes to my videos, you'll notice I don't just say, hey, I like this thing. Like, I throw in lots of jokes and lots of visual gags and stuff like that, because being entertaining is a key part of it. Like, being informative is cool, but there are people who have died off on the platform because they were just informative and they didn't keep their audiences entertained. And there are people who were entertaining, but they didn't adapt their entertaining factor. So their audiences figured out their shtick and got bored with it. So it's like it's a never-ending process of adapting when it comes to YouTube. And right now, I don't think I have to worry about adapting, because I think my content is entertaining enough that it's still pulling in enough new people that anyone who might be getting bored with my tactics is in the vast minority. But I do try to keep people on their toes with my humor. What would you want to review next for DuckTales? Perhaps another Darkwing-centered episode. The Darkwing Duck episode is the one that gets requested, but I think if I were to review another DuckTales, because the DuckTales videos do not do well, but I do want to talk about DuckTales some more. If I were going to, it would probably be a Goldie episode, because I really like Goldie. Goldie is my favorite character in DuckTales. It would probably either be the Fountain of Youth episode with Goldie, or the episode where Goldie and Louie first interact with each other. Because those are two episodes I really love. That's a great thing. One of the great things about DuckTales is the dynamic villains it has. Because every type of villain you could probably think of is in DuckTales. Or every type of villain you could think of is probably in DuckTales. And Goldie is the not really evil villain. Like, she's selfish, but she's not evil. And she's like, I think she's the only villain with an arc. Maybe you count the Techno Girl, who Gizmo Duck works with. Maybe she also has an arc, but I think Goldie is the only villain with an arc. I guess you technically say the Vulture had an arc, technically. Was Thor Ragnarok good? Thor Ragnarok, I think, is fine, but I think it set a precedent for both Thor and the MCU that had very bad consequences, which are they will sacrifice a lot for the humor. That's what Thor Ragnarok did, and it paid off for Thor Ragnarok. But even when I was first watched Thor Ragnarok and I really liked it, I was pointing out that that some of the jokes just didn't work. Like in Thor Ragnarok, when the guy gets melted and Thor is strapped to the chair, and Thor is just like, "Oh my and I was like, Thor wouldn't say that. Thor would say Odin's beard or something like that. But they had him say that because it was more relatable to a general audience, and it would have elicited a bigger laugh. Is there more Static Shock coming, Mr. The Shady? Yes, there is, though surprisingly there's not a lot of requests for Static Shock. But the Static Shock videos always get decent views, so there will be. I need to I feel like I could review any episode of Static Shock and it would do well. Just because I'm a black YouTuber talking about a show that's very well known for having black people in it. What I'll probably do is, actually, I could just do the Justice League episode because people love Justice League videos. So I could just do that, but I'm thinking of doing starting down the path of Rubber Band Man, just like start from the beginning and then work my way to the end of the Rubber Band Man arc. But I don't have any set episode of Static Shock I plan to review next. It's just because I really feel like I could just review any episode of Static, and my hip is very itchy. I feel like I could just review any episode of Static and people would love it. From what I heard, Thor: Love and Thunder did the same thing and it failed miserably. I heard Thor: Love and Thunder took it to the next step. That I can never say that guy's name. Tai Waka, whatever his name is. He pretty much just got a blank check to do whatever he wanted, and it went off the rails because of that. Do you watch anime? Oh, this question comes up every stream. Do you watch anime? And I have to give the same answer. I do not. I used to be a huge weeaboo. I used to be so much into anime and manga, but there was a bunch of shonen that I watched back to back to back that make me not want to watch anime anymore. And I've been trying to get back into it. But there's only so much time in the day. And also my favorite anime, Detective Conan, I don't have a good place where I can watch all of the episodes. Crunchyroll only has 200 or 300 episodes, and that anime has over 1,000 episodes on it or something like that. Nanocon, thank you very much. If you do another Brave and the Bold video, there is an episode where Batman takes the current Blue Beetle to Ted-Cor's former lair, and you will love it. Yeah, I've already seen that episode. That's another show I need to get back to watching. I was just watching that show and then I just stopped. I just get so distracted from watching shows. But the next Batman Brave and the Bold episode will probably be the Chill of Night. But I I'm tempted to save that review for Christmas because it is a Christmas episode. There are two Batman Brave the Boat Christmas episodes. So the one with Red Tornado. Do you like epic drama shows like Game of Thrones or movies like Gladiator or 300? Yes. They're not my go-to, but yes, I do like them. I'm planning on going to see Fly Me to the Moon sometime this week. I got a couple stuff going on this week, which I'm kind of scared I might not be able to get my next video done by next Sunday, which is annoying to me. I do not like going this long without having a video on the channel. How do you write a good character? Well, that question has a complicated answer to it. I mean, if I were to boil it down, it's difficult to boil it down writing a good character because, you know, you want to get your basic traits of your character, and then you want them to become three-dimensional. No, Shady, you're not supposed to review holiday episodes on said holiday. Well, Christmas episodes, like, I broke that tradition with Christmas episodes long ago. Mainly because when Christmas time comes around, I just have a huge Christmas spirit in me when it comes around. Also, I do try to do, like, algorithm stuff during Christmas. Like, Christmas is like the only time I try to do algorithm stuff. Do you smoke? No, I hate smoking. I hate the smell of any kind of smoking. Are there well-loved movies that you don't like? Kind of like Doug Walker's top 10 movies I hate, but everyone likes. The Fantastic Mr. Fox is the first one that comes to mind. I don't like The Fantastic Mr. Fox, but every reviewer I've seen talk about it has nothing but good things to say. I just don't find it funny. Like, the humor just doesn't hit for me. And I remember when it was previewing, I convinced my family to watch it, and I thought it was going to be a hilarious movie. And then we watched it, and all of us, every single one of us, including myself, was like, nah, that movie wasn't funny. Would you cover any Batman TAS episode? Yeah, I'm trying to get to a very specific episode. And then after I see that episode, I plan on doing a poll asking you guys which one you want to see first. Because there are a couple episodes that people have been requesting that I review. And I'm like, well, I'll wait till I get to those, and then I'll do a poll to see what people want to do first. I've already seen the first Mr. Freeze episode. I tweeted about it because a lot of people have asked me to review that one. Will you ever make more Gretzko videos? Probably not. I planned on making a video about the 4th season and the 5th season because I hated the 4th season. I detested the 4th season of Gretzko. And the 5th season got under my skin as well, but not as much as the 4th season. That season was awful. And I was so mad. Like, Gretzko, just the first 2 seasons of Gretzko are so brilliant. And then the 3rd season is still really, really good. They just mess up with Haida specifically. Have you watched Better Call Saul? I got to season 2, and then I stopped because I'm not a big cringe person. Like, I really dislike cringe, but I know a lot of people love cringe in their media. And it's just painful for me to watch Jimmy constantly make these decisions that I know he's going to regret. Pop quiz without looking, what's your most viewed video? Well, I already know that, and we were just talking about it. It's the John Redcorn video, and then second is the Flash video. Also, I'm pretty sure almost every YouTuber knows their most viewed video. Except when eventually you do get to such a big place in YouTube that you just don't care. Like, you don't take the analytics seriously anymore. I think it's like 10 million. Once you get to 10 million subs, You stop worrying about the analytics. Do you have an alter ego persona called Slim Shady? No. I know nothing about Eminem. Marcus M, thank you very much for the $4.99. You think of doing character analysis of different series like Two-Face over DCAU and Brave and the Bold or Static Shock over his... Wait, what? You think of doing character analysis of different series like Two-Face over DCAU and Brave and the Bold or Static or over his show and Young Justice, Robin, etc. Okay, that's the question is weirdly phrased. Okay. Do you think about doing character analysis of different series like Two-Face over DCAU and Brave and the Bold or Static over his Young Justice counterpart, Robin, etc. So you're saying different versions of different characters. That would be an interesting video to do. It's not something I personally think about doing because once you get into a rhythm on YouTube, you know your audience wants to see more of that. And so you try to stick close to that and then branching. But in any artistic field, this is true. When you find something that's successful, well, really in any field, this is true. When you find something that's successful, you keep doing it because you want to be successful and you don't want to let your customers or your audience, in my case, down. But if you stagnate that, you're limiting yourself from potential growth, and B, you risk people getting bored. So it's important to try and work outside your comfort zone and try different things. So in that regard, it is a project I could consider doing, but I can't see myself doing it anytime soon unless I became super inspired to do so. Like the core video that I just made, I normally wouldn't have made a video like that, but I became super inspired to do so because I just got so tired of repeating myself about that scene. Why do you like Chloe from Miraculous? She is a jerk. Because she has a lot of personality traits that individually I like. So I can't not like her. I've grown to really enjoy the mean girl trope. I like people with really high self-esteem. And I like redemption stories. Thoughts on Invincible? I still need to see the second season. I've been slacking on that. I'm gonna be honest. I've been slacking on a lot of my watching stuff because I have so much to do, and I'm like, it's not going anywhere. Because the stuff I don't need to watch, like Justice League, I don't need to watch Justice League. I just need a refresher of the episode people want me to review. That stuff is still there, and it still does well on the channel. Same with Daria. I don't need to watch Daria. I just need a refresher, so I'll rewatch the episode to make sure I understand it properly. What personality traits do you like about her? She has confidence. She has a lot of self-confidence. She has very high self-esteem, I should say. And I like characters with high self-esteem. Do you like Chloe being mean? As an adult, I've learned to like the mean girl. I'm not sure why that is. She has not been redeemed. No, but where I am at in Miraculous, she was set up for a redemption story. I know people have told me they kind of dropped the ball on Chloe. But where I'm at in the story, she was set up for a redemption arc, and that's why I liked her character so much. What are your thoughts of Batman 2004? 2004? You mean The Batman? I think that's when The Batman came out. In which case, I'd need to rewatch it because I haven't seen most of it. Where are you from? I'm from Florida. I shan't say where I am, but I am from Florida. Will you watch The Wild Robot? I don't even know what that is. What did you think of Inside Out 2? I loved Inside Out 2. I was shocked how much I loved Inside Out 2. Objectively, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but it's kind of like what I was just saying with Chloe. It has things that appeal to me personally, and it did them really well. I was genuinely shocked how much I loved Inside Out 2, because Inside Out 1 I just thought was okay. I was like, yeah, it had a lot of good moments, but there were parts that really frustrated me about it. But Inside Out 2, like, I was hooked on that movie. How old are you? Or what is your age specifically? That's what that says. My brain interpreted it as how old are you? How old am I? I forget. What year is it? 24? I am 32 going on 33. Lovely 1991. That's the year that I come from. What's the worst season of... the message left. What's the worst season of a good show that comes to mind? My go-to is Once Upon a Time. Season 5. That's a good answer. Once Upon a Time should have stopped at season 3. Well, my go-to answer is the last 3 seasons of... the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. Season 6 was also pretty bad. Well, season 6 was a downhill. Season 7 and season 8 of Game of Thrones were the awful ones. But also the final season of Danny Phantom and the final season of Star Versus. Well, really, Star Versus, while Star Versus had a bad season 3 and a bad season 4, where it gets like spectacularly bad is specifically the finale. But Danny Phantom, yeah, Danny Phantom was just awful. That final season was just bad. Florida is like the feral side of America. Florida, I think, is like the unpredictable side of America. I wouldn't call it the feral side. Like a lot of you can't predict what's going to happen in Florida, and that's why it makes people like kind of uncomfortable. Because like there are worse things that happen in worse places, but they're predictable. Like you expect them to happen. Do you want to cover video games on the channel at some point? That's another question that gets brought up, and the answer is yes. If you want to see me play video games, I do have a second channel, which I have been slacking on. I know all of you who watch that channel, I have been slacking on that channel. But I do have a second channel where I play video games on. Links in the description of every video. It's also on the channel itself, if you scroll down to the recommended channels. I would like to talk about like the literature of video games at some point. I don't know if it would be on this channel or on the second channel. Probably on this channel. But I can't see myself doing it anytime soon, just because I have so much work to do on other videos. Like video game making would take even more work than cartoon making, because I have to make the footage myself. I mean, obviously I could go out and take footage. But there's a part of me that doesn't really like doing that unless it's specifically cutscenes. Like, cutscenes is fine, but, like, taking somebody else's video gameplay footage, there's a part of me that really doesn't like doing that. Are you looking forward to Arcane Season 2? Yes, I'm also scared for it. Because Season 1 was so good. Arcane, if Arcane as a whole keeps its what's the word I'm looking for? Quality as much as season 1 did, I will classify it as the best show I've ever seen. But I have to wait for the show to finish. Like, I will put it above Avatar: The Last Airbender. How did I miss this? You didn't miss this. It's still going on. How long have we been streaming for? Almost an hour. Arcane Season 2 is actually the final season. No, I didn't know that. I didn't want it to be the final season. League of Legends has so many stories they can tell. And I was honestly, I was hoping Arcane Season 2 would be about a different part of Runeterra. I didn't want it to be about Piltover again. Piltover and Zaun. I was really hoping it would be about it. I would be fine with seeing some of the characters return. But I was hoping we would get a look at Demacia or Noxus. There are so many stories they can tell with Arcane. I'm hoping if they don't do I'm hoping if they they could do something like what Tales of I forget what that series is called, but there was a show, it was like Tales of something, and they did a bunch of different main stories. They did trolls, troll hunters, they did the aliens, and they did other stuff, but it was all part of the same series, all taking place in the same world. I'm hoping Arcane would do something like that if Arcane itself is just going to be about Piltover. They are planning for more spin-offs regarding League of Legends. Okay, I would hope so. There are so many good stories they could talk about. Do you like furries? It depends on your definition of furry, and there are certain types of furries I'm not going to talk about on the channel. But if you're just talking about somebody who is obsessed with anthropomorphic animals, I mean, we all have our obsessions. Tales of Arcadia, yes. I saw all of Troll Hunters, and I started to watch the Alien one next, but I kind of just fell out of it. I think Troll Hunters is a very good show. They make mistakes here and there, they really do, but I think it's very good overall. This archway is annoying me. I probably have to get on top. You, I summon thee. Yep, it is up here. I still haven't recovered since the cancellation of Inside Job. So, I watched Inside Job knowing it was going to be canceled. I could see how people would be upset at it. And what's that girl's name on Inside Job? Ridley? I think is her name, Ridley. Ridley is a character that kind of fascinates me because it's a character I want to hate and not relate to, but I do kind of relate to her. And at the same time, I don't hate her. This is a silly question, but would you cover any Bluey episodes? No, that's a question that gets asked. That's another question that gets asked like every stream. Will I cover Bluey? It's not impossible, but I don't have any motivation to do it immediately. Have you seen Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated? I love it. The ending was weird, but good if you ask me. That's one I need and want to watch. So for those of you, because I keep repeating what I'm about to repeat. There's a lot of things I repeat from stream to stream, and I always feel I have to say that I'm repeating it so I don't annoy the people who have heard me say it before. But the thing I'm about to say is something I say a lot when streaming, which is there are a lot of cartoons I need to just sit down and watch, and I want to do that, but that is something that requires me to have a lot of junk food. And right now I'm on a weight loss thing. So until the weight loss thing is done, like once the weight loss thing is done, I plan on watching a lot more cartoons. Because I'm just going to like pick a day out of the week, get a bunch of junk food, and then just watch them. Do you collect comics? Technically, yes. I don't actively go out and buy them, but I have a comic book collection. How about The Dragon Prince? The Dragon Prince is a show I feel guilty about because I said I would review the first 3 seasons and then I only reviewed the first 2. Because the first season showed me it had the first episode showed me it had potential, and then I was disappointed with the season as a whole. The second season also showed it had potential, and then the third season let me down. I didn't like the third season. really, as a whole, like, I don't like the Dragon Prince as a whole. There are things about it I like, but as a whole, the Dragon Prince annoys me. What is something you hated doing as a teen? Smiling. I hated smiling as a teen, which is weird because I've always loved laughing. I've always loved making my brothers and my sister laugh, making anybody laugh really, but my siblings especially. And I always loved when they made me laugh. But I hated smiling. I really did. I eventually got past that. I've said this in a Daria video. How I got past it was my mom, my parents, but really specifically my mom, loved it when I smiled, specifically in pictures, you know, as mothers do. That's a typical mom thing. So eventually I thought of it as I'm doing my mom a favor when I smile in my pictures, and I begin to appreciate smiling more. What do you think about the movie Superman Returns? It's boring. I prefer it over Man of Steel, but Man of Steel is more entertaining. Like, I feel like Superman Returns gets the character Superman more than Man of Steel does. But Superman Returns is just more boring. Have you watched adult content? Have you watched adult have you watched adult content? I know it's inappropriate. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Have I watched inappropriate adult content? In searching for adult content in general, I've stumbled across that stuff, yeah. Game of Thrones, it depends on what you mean by inappropriate. There are certain topics I won't talk about here on the channel, but like something like Game of Thrones is inappropriate to people. And I have a much lower threshold for what is inappropriate. Shady, are you a libertarian? So I don't want to talk too much about politics on the channel, but I do like to make it known that I consider myself a conservative, but depending on who you ask, like they'll say I'm center. So center right is the best thing. The reason I always point that out is because sometimes your politics is enough to get people to leave the channel or unsubscribe to it, or anything like that. And I don't want to fool anybody on the channel. That's why I always put it on the forefront that, oh, I'm right leaning. I don't approve of anything like any gender ideology. I don't approve of it. I always put that stuff out there because I know some people are like, oh, he doesn't approve of gender ideology. Well, unsubscribed. I'm never watching his stuff again. And I think they have the right to do that. I disagree with that mentality. I don't not watch somebody just because they have different politics than me. But I do somewhat understand it because there are some people who dive so much into their politics that it makes it unpleasant to watch some of their stuff. I've definitely come across that. And I think whether or not I agree with it, I think you should have the right to do something like that. So if me being a right-leaning a conservative is that big of a problem, then yeah, just know that I am that. Shady, what is your favorite color? Sonic the Hedgehog blue, though I am also partially fond of black. What's your favorite Pokemon? Eevee and Vulpix. I like foxes. Although recently red pandas have gotten my attention. So is there a red panda Pokemon? Because if I find that, I might like it more. I do not like that weird fox with the hair sticking out of its ears. I forget what it's like, the fire Pokemon of a certain generation. The fire. A starter Pokemon of a certain generation. Game of Thrones try too hard to be edgy, the annoying consumer-friendly kind of edgy. Well, that's the later seasons. The earlier seasons didn't try too hard to be edgy. They just were edgy. If you were to give your own video on MPAA ratings, would you rate them as PG-13 or R? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Will you review the episode where Hank and Peggy go to Montana? Is that the bicycle episode? Because I could potentially see myself reviewing that episode. I don't have any rush to review that one right now, but I could see myself reviewing it. That's Finnegan. Yeah, I don't like Finnegan, even though he's a fox. Mainly because of the hair sticking out of his ears. It's weird to me. As somebody with hairy ears. There was a question I saw and I wanted to answer it, but I don't know where. Oh, what is the coolest supervillain costume you know? Static Shock. Static Shock has the coolest superhero costume, specifically once he turns it black. Once the outfit turns black, Static Shock has the best superhero costume outfit. Please talk about X-Men. I am very tempted to talk about X-Men because I know it would get a lot of views. I absolutely know that. I'll probably skip to 97. I don't want to. Well, I do want to. I actually do really want to watch all of the original series. But I don't want to have to watch through all of the original series just to review 97. Weird question. What's your favorite mythology when you learn about their individual stories? I don't know if you can say I have a favorite mythology. Technically the Greeks, but that's just because I know the most about them, and that's a lot because they're in comic books, specifically DC. I apologize for this, but have you watched The Hub? I don't know why you're apologizing. I did, but it didn't really leave any significant impact on me. Like, I mainly knew about it because My Little Pony was the main place, The Hub was the main place to watch it. But it, as a network, didn't really leave any impact on me because I wasn't watching TV that much when The Hub was on the air. '97 is the sixth season of the '90s, not a whole new show. Well, yes and no. I get what you mean, though. It's a continuation. It's not technically a new show. It's supposed to continue where the original left off. But because I get what you're saying, because it would be like me saying, oh, the Hulu season of Futurama is a whole new show. But I don't have memories of the original show. I have seen it, but it was when I was a really little kid. It was when I was a little kid, so I don't have much memory of the original X-Men show. So if I can understand, like, somebody be like, don't skip the original series. You need to watch the original airing before going to 97. It's just, to me, it feels like so much time has skipped and because the creators, it's so far into the future from the original and the times are so different, it's hard to see it as a direct continuation. But I do get what you're saying. It absolutely is not on an objective level a new show. It is a continuation. It is the seventh season or sixth season of the old show. It's just took a long time to air. Have you traveled overseas? Yes. My mom regularly cruises. Would you review the King of the Hill episode about the Canadians? I could. There's not a whole lot of requests for it. Unfortunately, the most requests for King of the Hill episodes I get are ones that I'm not really comfortable with reviewing. Halloween gets requested a lot, and so does what's the episode called? The one with Bill dressing up as his ex-wife. A lot of people request that one. But that's dealing with mental issues and depression, and that's another topic I don't really like talking about in a public way. Do you attend any conventions? No, I would like to in the future, but I'm not in a position where I can do a ton of traveling for the channel specifically. Like, if I'm traveling, it's usually for vacation purposes. Could you do more reviews? Could I? Yes. The quality would probably drop, though. Pretty Dresses. Yes, that is probably the most requested King of the Hill episode. Did you ever watch X-Men Evolution? It's my favorite X-Men show. X-Men Evolution didn't do it for me when I was a kid because it was so different from what I knew to be X-Men. Like, when I thought of X-Men, I thought of the original 90s version of X-Men. So when I saw X-Men Evolution and the direction it took, I was just like, yeah. I eventually began reading comics, and so I was fine with Wolverine in the X-Men, because that was still similar to like the Astonishing X-Men, which I love the Astonishing X-Men, the comic version of them. But like I hear nothing but good things about X-Men Evolution. So I would definitely have to rewatch it. Out of all the fan bases in existence, which do you think is the most toxic? Technically League of Legends, but I mainly call them the players, not the fan base. The players of League of Legends are the most toxic. Be honest, do you ever really use any of the services that you sponsor in your vids? Well, I've only ever sponsored one service, and the answer is yes. I used, the only thing I ever sponsored was Surfshark. And yes, I did use them. In fact, I still use Surfshark. What is your favorite Troll Hunters episode? It's been a while since I've seen Troll Hunters. I don't know if I can really say I have a favorite one. Would you review the trial episode Batman? That's the other that's the episode I'm waiting to get to in watching it, the trial episode, because a lot of people have asked me to review that one, and I'm like, okay, well, let me continue watching the series, and then once I get to the trial episode, then I'll do a poll to see which of like 4 or 5 episodes people want me to review. But the trial episode and the Mr. Freeze episode get asked for a lot. Do you like Adventure Time? I'm trying to get through Adventure Time, but every time I watch it, it feels like I'm wasting my time, because I know it gets serious eventually, and that's where I'm trying to get to. But like, there are other things that I'm already feeling the enjoyment of, and I go and watch those instead, and then I forget the episodes I've already seen of Adventure Time. Can you review more Korra? I could. I mean, I could probably dabble with Korra, because the thing is, the last Korra video did so well. It is making me rethink like what I should review on the channel, because I did not expect it to do that well. But I don't want to just completely shift the channel to something different unless it's like channel changingly different. Because Korra did really well, but it didn't do channel changingly different well. Like the BoJack Horseman did channel changingly different well. King of the Hill did channel changingly different well. The first Teen Titans video I did channel changingly different well. So Korra, I'm definitely willing to like ponder on where I should go next, but it's not something I'm willing to like drop everything to quickly make another similar video. The main thing Korra has got me thinking of is maybe I can finally start straying away from episodic reviews, because that's mainly how I do my reviews now, is I review episode by episode. And a lot of people have been asking for topics of like generic topics of things. And those are fine, but they take a lot more work because I have to get a lot more resources. Like if I'm talking about something in a season or in a series as a whole, I need a lot more clips. I don't just need clips from one episode. So it's a lot more work, and I don't have a guarantee that I'm going to get the same amount of views for more work that I'm putting in. But Korra is making me like rethink that, because Korra was just a generic topic. Channel changingly. Say that 5 times fast. That 5 times fast. Oh, you mean the channel changingly. Channel changingly, channel changingly, channel changingly, channel changingly, channel changingly. I don't think that one's that tough. I still have trouble with the toy boat. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. Did I get everything? No. This meta wall keeps making me think I haven't gotten everything. Would you say you're finished talking about BoJack Horseman? I mean, I could come back to it, but I don't see any reason to. because they're like, I feel like my time with BoJack Horseman is just like pretty much ended. There's still like a fan base for it. Like Johnny still talks about it, and he still gets like a lot of views on his videos that talk about it. I wouldn't say I'm completely done, but like I would need to really find a reason to talk about it. Is channel changingly different? Well, whatever's on the popular tab. Is channel changingly different? Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that question. Would you review the old 30s Superman cartoons? If there was a big enough reason to. Like the things that there are reasons to review are the popular shows on the channel right now, which are Daria, King of the Hill, and various superhero shows. And Fillmore, because Fillmore did really well. And other than that, I tend to experiment with shows to see what does well, and different types of videos to see what does well. Another thing that gets frequently asked in these live streams is would I be willing to review movies or live action shows? I'm very tempted to reviewing a movie in the near future. It would probably be something superhero related just to see how it does. As for live action, I need to rewatch certain shows. There are certain shows that I think would do well on this channel, like Supernatural or Leverage. I think Leverage would do really well on this channel, but I would need to rewatch those shows. Or Bird Notice. I think Bird Notice would do really well. House as well. I think House is also something that would do really well on this channel. Do we have any King of the Hill ahead? Well, I just did a King of the Hill video. Well, I guess time goes by faster or is it faster or slower? I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but I remember older videos sooner than I guess most people do. Because like I understand, I too am a YouTube viewer of other YouTubers. So, you know, you release a video a week ago, you're like, it's been a whole week. When's the next one? I understand. Like as a YouTuber, I'm like, I just did one last week. But as somebody who watches other YouTubers, I get it. It's like, you did one last week. Hurry up and release another one. Law and Order would be a good one, but it's not one I'm very familiar with. NCIS would probably be another good one. Your Justice League video on Flash is #2 most popular vids according to the popular tab on your channel. Does that count as channel changingly well? Yes. Yes. Okay, that's what you meant by that. Okay. Yes. If something is that, I mean, the Flash video had one of my best, the Flash video was one of the best performing videos ever, not just in the long term, but in the short term. The only other video that did similar to the Flash in the short term was the recent Justice League video about the Patriot Act. And even then, I don't know if the Patriot Act is going to do the same in the long run. The video you made on Raya was great. It drove me crazy how nobody was talking about how awful that movie's message was. Yeah, that was the Raya video was the first video I did after I went full time. And that one did really well too. Yeah, I guess I'm just too comfortable with talking about things in an episodic fashion. So I just got to push past my comfort zone, because there is evidence on the channel and to suggest that I could do things in a not episodic fashion. And I used to do things like that when I did the BoJack Horseman videos. I used to talk about broad subjects all the time. Shady, have you ever thought of reviewing a law show called The Practice? It's a great show. I've never heard of it. Could Marvel adapt the Patriot Act with a Red Hulk storyline in a comic or TV show? I mean, I guess it's possible, yeah. I feel like a lot of people would notice. Have you seen Batman the Cape Crusader trailer? And if so, would you make a video on the show when it comes out? I have not seen it, and probably not when it comes out, but we'll see. We'll see. I've gotten so, it's very funny because when I used to do BoJack Horseman, I'm like, I don't know if I would, I know some people want me to, but I don't know if I could go into reviewing retro shows because my core audience doesn't ask for those. Now it's the opposite. It's like, I feel so uncomfortable reviewing new shows because I'm so used to reviewing retro shows. Is this wall done? Yeah, it's done. Invincible, or The Boys, The Boys, it doesn't matter for my audience specifically, but yes, that would definitely get views. I'm pretty sure Invincible would too. The Boys, though, would get views from like just YouTube in general, because it's a trending topic. But The Boys would very much so work for my channel, yes. If I were a good businessman, I would drop what I'm doing and go watch all of The Boys so I could review something on it. Just get something out. Okay, I did some scrolling. Apparently the least popular video on your channel, which is the bottom of the popular tab, is Zelda Dungeon Weekly featured. Yeah, Zelda Dungeon Weekly was just me talking about art from DeviantArt. I used to run a group called Zelda Dungeon on DeviantArt, which was connected to the Zelda Dungeon website. Because I used to be a decently known member on the Zelda Dungeon website. But then I lost connection with the Zelda Dungeon website, and they really stopped caring about their group in DeviantArt. And then it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I realized like I don't care about the group either. And I passed down the reins to whoever was vice president at the time. But at the time when I became the owner of that group, I wanted to make it into something big, because I've always had a content creator mindset where I just want to make stuff and put it out there for people to see. And that was a part of it. So I was like, if I feature art on my channel weekly, it'll inspire people to make more art, and also it could become big on YouTube. What is your favorite fight scene in media? My favorite fight scene in media? So without thinking about it too hard, I'm going to say the fight from Civil War. But if I were to think about it hard enough, I would probably find a different answer. But the fight from the MCU Civil War, I absolutely adore. League of Legends, though, has some really good fight. Oh, wait. Death Battle is a thing. Probably something from Death. I think my favorite Death Battle is Bill Cipher versus Discord. I love that fight. Do you grow up watching Sesame Street? It was on the TV. I did not watch it. A lot of live action shows I didn't like. I wasn't too fond of Barney. I did watch Barney, but I wasn't too fond of it. And I just didn't like Sesame Street, which was weird because I loved Teletubbies. Like, I absolutely loved Teletubbies. But a lot of live action shows just didn't do it for me. And also, a lot of times shows that were an hour long didn't do it for me either, because they messed up how I viewed the world. Because it was like, a show was over, oh, that meant 30 minutes passed. But then an hour-long show would come on, I'd be like, this is weird, why is this show still on? I mean, it's been 45 minutes. If you like Once Upon a Time, did you also watch Descendants? No. I did not. There was a time, like, in the 2010s is when I was in college, so I didn't have too much access to TV. And then when I did get access to TV, eventually I started getting a job and stuff, so that got in the way. Like, I couldn't watch Korra I watched the first season of Korra when it first premiered, and I watched the first half of the second season, but I couldn't watch the rest because it got in the way of my job. So I didn't get to watch the rest of Korra until I was a YouTuber, way in the 2020s. Oh, this window's done. I haven't watched MLP, but ain't no way Discord would ever stood a chance against Bill. I gotta turn some children to corpses. Yes, see, actually, he would have. And Death Battle mentions this. Discord and Bill are both like pretty much all powerful, and Discord has the tools to defeat Cypher. Like they are both reality warping entities. The problem is that Discord underestimates like his opponents. He constantly does that, and they're absolutely right about that. He thinks he's the top dog, and he will not only underestimate people who are on his level, but people who are lower than him. Bill Cipher has done that as well, but that's specifically with people who are lower than him. He doesn't. He tends not to underestimate people who are on his level. What kind of cookies? Chocolate chip cookies. They are. I have a weakness for chocolate chip cookies. I mean, I'm not special for saying that. Like so many people have a weakness for chocolate chip cookies. I've got to remember to sit up. I've been doing stretches to fix my posture because I was born in the 90s and we are infamous for our bad posture, and I've been really trying to fix it. I honestly still don't understand how they managed to defeat Bill Cipher in the finale. I mean, they contained him. Is basically what it is. They took his only weakness. It's literally his literal only weakness. Well, no, he has more weaknesses than that. Just not ones they could exploit properly at the time. I have Papa John's. Let's go. I like Pizza Hut and Little Caesars when it comes to the main ones, the main four. Little Caesars is my favorite, but Pizza Hut is fine. I'm not a big Domino's or Papa John's guy. I don't like Papa John's crust. But Shady, you can't have cookies. Hold on. But Shady, you can't have cookies for dinner. I do what I want. No, I'm gonna have pizza for dinner. I should probably cook me like a side of string beans just to make sure I got some vegetables. Make sure the digestion works properly. And then the cookies will be dessert. And I will probably eat them while watching Batman or Ben 10. There's a lot more Batman the Animated Series to get through than I thought. Like, season 1 is very, very long, and I did realize that. Have you ever had Whataburger? I have not. My go-to fast food place is Chick-fil-A, but if we're specifically talking about burgers, I will probably go to Wendy's more, though I've been liking Wendy's a lot less lately, but Wendy's is still like my go-to for burgers. A minute, Shady, we all know it's a cookie pizza. I would love a cookie pizza, but that's not what I got, and I'm not about to make one. What is the name of the game? This is Power Wash Simulator, where you are a power washer. I'm playing, I guess it's DLC, but it's this came with the game, so I finished the story mode a lot, but they added DLC that has its own story mode now. You see those texts on the right of the screen? That's basically what the story mode is about. You get those texts as you're cleaning, and they tell you interesting things. Everything has a simulator now. Well, this simulator has been popular for a while. Markiplier helped make it really popular. But Shady, you said you were on a diet. I am, and I've been breaking my diet a lot these past couple months. I'm probably going to get back on it soon, though. I've recently restarted my strength training, which has actually caused me to gain a lot of weight, probably because of muscle. I'll probably start doing more dieting and harder cardio. Like I do soft cardio like daily. I'll probably start doing harder cardio more. I was taking a break from the harshness of my dieting and exercising because it was causing me stress. And stress actually hinders you when you're working out, so. Hey, yo, Shady, any opinions on the new Captain America trailer, Red Hulk? I've only seen, like, the promotion image and the shot of him catching the shield. It looks amazing, but I don't trust anything from the MCU. Oh, I should have said it looks incredible. Also, I'm upset that Red Hulk is a thing in something that's not a Hulk movie. They better have Bruce Banner, like, in that movie. Like, Hulk is probably the most infuriating thing about the MCU. Pun unintended. I did not mean to do that. The most rage-inducing thing, because they did that guy so dirty. Starting with Endgame. Like, really, you could say they started with Infinity War, but Infinity War clearly set up for a fix that Endgame just didn't deliver on. Have you seen the new Stitch stuff? New. Do you think Edward Norton was a better Bruce Banner? I don't remember Edward Norton's performance. I think he was, like, I think he looked, his CGI Hulk looked better than the MCU's Hulk. Even in Avengers. I like the Hulk in the Avengers, but I think the Avengers in the original movie looks better than the Avengers Hulk. There's never been a good standalone movie, Hulk movie. Well, I liked the Edward Norton Hulk movie. I don't know what was wrong with it. Honestly, Hulk honestly just needs better writers and storylines. I mean, you could say that about just about any superhero who's not doing well. She-Hulk just needs better writers and storylines. The MCU as a whole just needs better writers and storylines. The Flash just needs better writers and storylines. No, She-Hulk needs to just not. I mean, She-Hulk would be fine. It's just the writers they got for the show were awful. Like, I read the Dan Slott comic of She-Hulk, which is why I'm so fascinated that he defended that show so hard, because they pretty much did the opposite of what he did in his comic. Get a longer... Oh, did I already have that equipped? Yeah, I did. Do you watch EFAP by chance? I haven't watched them recently. I was on EFAP. I used to watch them a lot more. But I have like a conflicting thing with EFAP because I highly respect like Mahler's opinions, but I don't like the concept of EFAP as a whole. And to be honest, if they invited me back on EFAP, I would say yes in a heartbeat. No way when. It was during the Ratatouille episode. There was a YouTuber who was talking about Ratatouille. They invited me on. I highly doubt they'll ever invite me back on again because I just got the vibe that I wasn't gelling well with the group. But if if they invited me back on, like I often look back on that episode and I cringe because I feel like I was being very meek because I felt like I was a kid at the cool kids table and I wanted to fit in. And, you know, that's like the opposite of people think of when they think of Shady Doorags. They think of, oh, somebody who stands by their opinion no matter what. And I had a contrasting opinion on there, but I felt very meek about it. And I even said some things outside of the call that the people didn't hear that I heavily regretted saying because it just seemed like I didn't like, I was somebody who couldn't stand by their own opinion. But if they invited me back on, I would say yes in a heartbeat. Even though I think I'm just not a good gel for that show. But also, I somewhat have a problem with the show as a whole because even though I know what it is, it's a podcast where they talk about various topics, and because of that, they're constantly pausing on the thing they're watching. But I think just by that nature, there are problems with it because the entire point often doesn't get across with what they're watching. I think it works better when they're doing movies, but when they're watching YouTube videos and they cut someone's point off, like it becomes very frustrating. May I ask what it is about EFET that you don't like about the... Oh, well, I just said that, so that was probably tight before I finished speaking. Also, I don't really like Rags' approach to a lot of topics. Rags is very aggressive with how he approaches topics. How did you come up with the name Shady Doorags and what the design of your JPEG? Well, I answered the design of my character. I used to dress like that for another YouTube channel, and then I reworked it to be more inspired by Spider-Man. The name Shady Doorags comes from the fact that I felt when I used to actually dress like my avatar, I eventually said, okay, I'm going to lose everything except the shades and the durags because I look good in shades and durags. I've always felt I look good in shades and durags. And I came up with the name Crooked Shades because my shades tend to be crooked when I put them on. But that name was taken. And then I just on the spot thought of the name Shady Doorags. That was literally as I was making the account. Like I had planned for it to be Crooked Shades for like days or weeks. And then when that name was taken, I was like, okay, Shady Doorags, let's go with that. I just found you a few days ago and have been binging your content. Really good stuff, and thank you for the content. Appreciate it. Very much appreciated. If you just found me a few days ago, I must warn you about those videos. The Tuca and Birdie video. The Hollyhock video. Those are videos where a lot of people are like, you know, I thought Shady was a good person, but after having seen this... Seismic62197, thank you for the $2. Have you seen Smiling Friends? I have not seen Smiling Friends. I haven't really gotten requests to review Smiling Friends, so I don't really have plans on watching it unless it's on like a binge day when I've got nothing else going on. Channel is called Shady Doorags, but you only have ever worn one. Well, no, I've worn different types of durags, but as of now, these are my main shades. These are my only shades and durags that I wear. But throughout the channel, I have worn different types. I used to, in the background, keep like a bunch of shades lined up so I could have different shades for different videos. But I tried to keep a motif for how my avatar looks. Really, the look I was going for with my avatar was bongo glasses. Those perfectly round circular glasses. That was the look I was going for. But when I moved around a lot, so a lot of stuff got lost and thrown out and whatnot. And eventually these were the ones I stuck with. This durag was not here when I first started this channel. Because I remember the original durag ripped. So I had to go out and buy another one. These specific shades might have been here since the beginning, though. These are definitely the main shade. Like I don't wear these in public. I have different because I don't feel like they fit properly. But I do wear them for the stream because they are the Shady Doorags, the Shady Doorag shades. Okay, I go watch Tuka and Birdie. Thanks for the recommend. That I'm saying it as a joke, but like that tends to be one of the videos people are like, wow, I thought Shady was a cool dude, but this take is awful. And unfortunately, I still stand by the things I said in that video. So the Tuka and Birdie video, the Hollyhock video, and the Penny video. Well, the Penny video, not so much. It still is one, but it's not as big as the Hollyhock video. The Hollyhock video especially, so many people don't like that video, and it's a video I still stand by. Like I recently rewatched it. I'm like, yeah, I still stand by every word I said in this video. What is your opinion on the whole Blade production? I haven't been keeping up with it. I don't specifically know what people's problem with it is. What is your opinion of people who peel off the chicken feeling of chicken nuggets? I didn't know there were people who did that. Oh, fell off. Is my ladder here anywhere? Because I feel like my oh, there's another scaffolding. Are you the same height as this one? Why did they give me 2? Yeah, you're the same height. Why did they give me 2? Maybe so you could place them side by side and you could just walk across them. That might be it. Can I get a shout out? Ah! Is that good? Oh, I hope I didn't hurt you guys' ears. Oh, I just realized I probably shouted into the mic. I am so sorry. I just saw the opportunity for a pun and I took it. Puns are necessary to my life. What is a buttress? I need to clean it. You gotta clean that mansion for a year. This is supposed to be the mansion from Tomb Raider, but I've never played any Tomb Raider game, so I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, that's done. How about you? String course ledge. Is that this thing? Oh, this thing. Okay. Ah, okay. Okay, that's done. Anything else? Something else? I saw something flash. Corbel table. Oh, do I have to get that from above? Have you ever played Elden Ring? No. Games that are, like, stupidly hard, I don't find an appeal to. I guess I'm thinking of Dark Souls more than Elden Ring. I don't find appealing. I don't find an appeal to. Way to English, Shady. I don't find appealing. Even though whenever I get a game, the first thing I do is turn it up to the hardest setting and then play on that and then get frustrated and lose a lot and then quit. I want a challenge, but I feel like games often take it too far. I've yet to see any tomb you can raid in that place, so I call shenanigans. Well, it's supposed to be the mansion from Tomb Raider, but sure. I saw something down here I could clean, but it went away. Shady, have you ever played Marvel Midnight Suns? I have not. New. My video games are another topic that get brought up here often. I am trying to get back into video games. I just bought a bunch of games on the Steam sale that happened. And I played through the Portal games, Portal 2. I have Undertale, but I haven't touched it yet. I have the Doom games. I beat the first Doom. Doom, what is it? Doom 16, I think is what it's called. I beat that one, and I need to beat Doom Eternal. Shady, have you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance? No, I have not. But yeah, video games are something like I'm trying to get back into. Because I genuinely do miss the days when I was obsessed with video games. Like, I never asked to be cured of my addiction to video games. It just happened. And now I'm trying to get it back. this space. Ah, something over there. I saw it. Yeah, I started playing Doom 16 on the second hardest setting. Not the hardest setting, because I think the hardest setting is ridiculous. Which, if you don't know, the hardest setting in Doom 16 is... I'm assuming 16 is the correct number. The hardest setting in Doom 16 is... It's the hardest the enemies can be at, but also when you die, you start all the way back over. I'm like, no, that's just too much for me. That wouldn't be fun for me. It'd be frustrating. So I played it on the second hardest setting, and I got through a good chunk of it. But once I got to the, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the first boss you come across. Once I got to that, like, that level frustrated me because I couldn't find the hidden arcade cabinet that was in that level. And B, it kind of just beat the want to continue out of me. Because it was... Like, I was like, the amount of skill I would need to defeat this guy is just too much. What am I looking at? Something up there. Battlement. Okay. What is a battlement? Is it that square thing? Is it you? I don't know what a battlement is. Cyber Demon? Is that what it is? It's like the first boss you can see the hit bar on. Oh, that's the battlement up there. There we go. Okay. All right. I think I got everything. If you never played this game, what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the top left. It tells me what is clean, and when the bar is full of blue, that means it's completely clean. So right now you can see, like, up here, tower wall, it's white with a little bit of blue. And then over here, you know, as I shift over, the amount of cleanliness varies. The video is called Peter Pan Evil. Yet, oh, you must be talking to somebody else. That's not me. Is that the Croft Manor? Is there a Croft Manor? Because if so, I guess this would be it. It is from Tomb Raider. That's all I know. I guess there is a Croft Manor because there was a Croft Manor in the movie. Ever played Stellar Blade? No, that just came out. I haven't played, like, any new game. From Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, what are your thoughts on the episode The Ultimate Sacrifice? I have no memory of Ultimate Alien. In fact, I think I only saw one episode of Ultimate Alien. No, it wasn't even Ultimate Alien. It was Alien Force when he got the Ultimatrix. So it wasn't actually Ultimate Alien. And I was actually really upset because in my head, like, the Omnitrix was a one-of-a-kind weapon that was very difficult to duplicate. And they destroyed it and just replaced it with another one, another better one. Next stream, build your JPEG in Minecraft. Well, first of all, it's a PNG. Second of all, oh, you mean using the blocks in Minecraft? Because I was going to say, I already have a skin of my avatar in Minecraft. I would need to re-download Minecraft, which I'm actually thinking of doing because some family members are interested in Minecraft, and if they get Minecraft, I would love to play with them. I think that is actually something I could play on the channel. I always played this game because I can focus on chat while I'm playing. But Minecraft might be something I could also like duo focus on, as long as I had a safe environment. But when it comes to Minecraft, I don't consider myself like getting into the complex artistic stuff. Like, I like building stuff in Minecraft, but I don't like getting too complex about it. Like, those really giant things you see, I just don't have the patience for it. I get bored. I would get bored too quickly. I thought about what you said about the evil Peter Pan thing, and I found that aforementioned video. Oh, you must not be talking about me. Or actually, I think I did say something about evil Peter Pan in the past. For all y'all in chat, a PNGs are transparent and can be used in any background. A JPEG isn't and can't. Yes. Well, that's the main difference. There is no such thing as a JPEG tuber. Actually, there are. They used to be called commentaries. I don't know if they still do that. Like, people take old pictures from the internet, whatever picture they can find, of whatever character they feel like being that week, and then commentating using that as their avatar. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? 50 points to everyone but Hufflepuff for a top tier King of the Hill reference. Ooh, my throat's starting to feel it. Water. Shady, what would you rather have? A functioning lightsaber or a potion that would give you the powers of Superman from the 50s? Well, Superman from the 50s has basically immortality. Like, any version of Superman basically has immortality. And I will pretty much almost always pick immortality as long as it comes with eternal youth as well. I've said it before, like, if I want immortality, I specify I want eternal physical and mental comfort. I don't just want to live forever. And relative comfort. Like, I can still, like, be itchy. I can still break my arm and stuff like that. But if the pain gets too severe, like, I go unconscious until it heals itself. Or it is healed. You know what would be completely crazy? If this game collaborate with Disney and made DLC where you get to power wash the Disney parks in affiliate areas. That would be awesome. I would love that so much. I would absolutely love that. Okay, I think I need to go a floor lower because I cannot reach in here. Wrong button. So there's no version of Superman Goku can beat. Gogeta can't beat. Well, if you're interested in that, go watch Just a Robot's series of all versions of Superman versus all versions of Goku. He talks about which versions can beat which other versions. It's a long series. I think it's like 5 videos, maybe more than that. Hey Shady, what fictional item would you want to own? Again, my my go-to answer for that stuff is like anything that'll give me eternal comfort. I can't think of anything specifically other than the Omnitrix that would do that. It actually wouldn't be a Green Lantern ring, because Green Lantern rings are actually really difficult to use. You have to have good willpower, and I don't think I do. Like, if you're the kind of person who you're working out and you tend to fail on the rep it gets hard, you can't be a Green Lantern. The whole point of it is you're willing to push through using your willpower. And it actually takes a lot out of the person using it. There was a comic where Green Arrow used the Green Lantern ring just one time, like just to shoot one arrow, and it completely drained his body. And he asked I think it was Hal. It might have been Kyle, but he asked whatever lantern was there. He's like, does it always feel like that when you use a ring? And the lantern's like, yeah. And I have a very low tolerance for pain. Just wanted to pop in and say I love your content. Keep up the good work. Don't tell me what to do. I do what I want. Thank you. Appreciate it. Which lantern core ring do you think would fit you best? But not rage, because like I have a rage in me, but I've never like unwillingly let it out. Like it's never exploded. I always try to find like a good way to release anger that's inside of me. Avarice, no, not avarice. Rage, avarice. Fear, nah. Not will. Hope. Probably hope. Hope is probably the best one. So the blue lantern. I wouldn't say compassion. Like I have compassion, but I don't think it fits me best. And I wouldn't say love. Again, I have love, but I don't think it fits me best. And they specifically talk about romantic love in the Green Lantern one. So I'd say that definitely wouldn't fit me best. So it'd probably be a blue lantern ring. Greed, because you make a lot of videos you know would do well. I mean, avarice isn't just greed, though. Avarice is like wanting it all. And a lot of times wanting what other people have. And honestly, I don't consider myself, like, I do want a lot, but I don't consider myself, like, greedy. Like, my want for things doesn't supersede my morals for other stuff. Hey, Shady, if you had to roommate with one character from someone that you reviewed, who would it be and why? I wouldn't want to roommate with anyone, because I would not want a roommate. I mean, the chance to meet Peter Parker would be amazing, but I wouldn't want him to be my roommate. I need my personal space. I grew up having to share everything with my brother. And so as an adult, like I need personal space. I need a lot of alone time and personal space. Because you always hope your next video will do better than the last. Well, it's because I genuinely believe like there's a positive side to most things, and like things can get better. That is a belief I've like just always felt, that things can improve. Who would you rather sit next to on a plane, Boomhauer or Bill Dotree? Well, Boomhauer probably doesn't smell. And Bill is very overweight, so he would probably intrude on your personal space. So, definitely Boomhauer. How familiar are you with Has Been I'll Tell? I know what it is. I watched its sister series, but got annoyed with it and stopped watching it mid-season 2. But I've never seen an episode of it. What are your thoughts on Chuck E. Cheese getting rid of their animatronics? I understand it. For tradition's sake, I don't like it because I grew up with Chuck E. Cheese and I love their animatronics, but I understand it because I went to Chuck E. Cheese and I saw like how most of the characters are on TV screens and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. You know, it costs less to, and kids are watching screens all the time anyway, so. Whoa. Completely missed this. I'm glad I accidentally fell just then. What is your favorite YouTuber which has nothing to do with cartoons whatsoever? Well, I was going to say Killian Experience, but he reviewed Digimon. Nothing to do with cartoons whatsoever. Hold on, let me check my subscribers. Let me check the people I'm subscribed to. Well, it has nothing to do with cartoons whatsoever. Maybe Many a True Nerd? 'Cause a lot of people I watch have something to do with cartoons. Okay. So probably Many a True Nerd, but I'll have to revisit that. Why do you think Della Duck reprimanded Lou? Why do you think Della Duck reprimanded Louie wasn't earned in the Time Tap episode? You said so on Twitter, and I think he completely deserved it. It isn't that Louie didn't deserve to be reprimanded. It's that Della didn't deserve to be the one reprimanding him. Della did not know Dewey well enough to yell at him. The other adults who knew Dewey well enough, Scrooge and Beakley, had forgiven him. I think Donald should have done it. And also, Della was being a hypocrite because she did that same thing. And also earlier, she was encouraging the other kids to do stuff. What happened in that scene was, and I think the writers partially understood this, was that Della was upset at herself for letting her kids get away with so much. And it had gotten to a point where it was endangering them. Beakley had been warning her the entire episode that she needs to be stricter with them. And she wasn't listening, so it eventually got to there. So instead of punishing herself, she took it out on Louie. And first of all, she punished him in the first place when the other adults were saying it was fine because he had learned his lesson. Like, he had learned his lesson. That was so frustrating about it. He had learned his lesson. He knew not to do it again, and she punished him regardless. And then she completely ignored that she had been encouraging her kids to do this type of stuff. Like, I think Donald should have stepped in and did something. Obviously, Donald wasn't there. He was on a tropical island doing stuff. But I think it would have been much more suitable for Donald to do it. And I think the episode should have called her out on the fact that she was taking out her failures on Louie. I did not like that she was taking out her failures on Louie. Okay, I want to finish this round window up here. Right here. I want the window and the frame. Go, 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 go. Okay. You're in the way. Move. Hey, Shady, what is your favorite non-theatrical cartoon movie special? That's a tough one off the top of my head. The Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. But I would need to think about that one for a for sure answer. Because I watched a lot of those growing up. Summer Belongs to You is actually a good one, because Summer Belongs to You did change my life. All right. Let's jump off. What show you objectively hate, but you like watching it because it's entertainingly bad? I don't objectively hate. Okay, I don't objectively hate this show, but I do think it's objectively bad, which is Sonic Underground. But I love it ironically. Me and my friend watched the crap out of that show ironically. Do you have a favorite Game Boy Advance game? No, because I did not play the Game Boy Advance. Well, technically, I played certain adaptations of Zelda on the Game Boy Advance. I guess the Minish Cap? I think the Minish Cap was a Game Boy Advance game, so I guess that would be it. But I didn't have a Game Boy Advance. Do you like or enjoy any of the live-action Disney remakes? I enjoy Alice in Wonderland. I don't think it's good, but I do enjoy it. And I really like, I think objectively, The Jungle Book is a good remake. I think there are some parts that are bad, like King Louis singing. I don't think he should have sang in the remake. But I think the movie as a whole works. I need to rewatch Cinderella, but my memory is telling me that one also works for the most part. It's just really the ending where they kind of mess it up. Rank your top 5 childhood shows. Well, the first one is Avatar, because that is my favorite show of all time. I watched a lot of shows growing up, so that is a very difficult thing to do. I guess Yu-Gi-Oh would probably be next because I was really obsessed, and Dragon Ball Z would be up there as well. I was really obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh. I was really obsessed with Pokemon too, but by the time I got to a certain age, I wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon anymore. Your diary of videos make me watch the show. I finished it all, including the 2 movies, and it's a great show. And yes, I agree. It is a great show. Thanks for answering my question. Thanks for asking it. I bet you never saw a show called The Big O, basically Bruce Wayne, but instead of Batman, it's a giant mech. I know what it is. I never saw it myself. Okay, you guys. I'm going to call it there. I am really, really hungry, and I have earned my pizza and cookies. So thank you guys so much for stopping by, watching this with me. Had a blast doing this. I will, there should be another video next week, but I'm uncertain because, like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on this week, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get my next script done on time to be able to finish it. But hopefully there will be another video by next week. Thank you guys for all the donations. I appreciate it as always. Join me next time and I'll answer some more questions. I do have a second channel if you want to watch me play games and do other stuff. There's a link in the description. There's a link in the description of every video for the second channel, and there's a link at the on the main channel. It's in the recommended channels. And I also have a Discord that you guys can check out. I also have a Twitter that you guys can check out. You can ask me questions on either of those. I do tend to answer more on Discord than I do Twitter. Twitter is just a fun place to interact with me. That's like in a less YouTuber-ish way. Like I do a lot of different things on Twitter. I talk about a lot of different things on Twitter. But anyway, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in whatever comes next. This has been Shady Doorags. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.